folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop me a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys. It goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this week we are obviously on issue 68 and we get our first Ironjawz mini. So this is the Orruk Mega Boss. So 2 small sprues to make one guy that fits on a fairly large base. So pretty damn cool stuff there. Genuinely a really interesting mini to have as well. Obviously though, if you are painting it the standard colours for yellow, yellow can be a bit of a tricky colour to paint, so take your time with it, enjoy the experience, and in all honesty probably follow the instructions in the magazine because they'll be very decent for this one. But otherwise, a really cool mini to have, and obviously it's a bit bigger than all our Cruel Boys that we've already had. Moving into the issue though, first off we are greeted by the Ironjawz themselves. So, brutality incarnate, the Ironjawz originally arose in the savage wilds of Gur during the Age of Myth. From there they have spread across the mortal realm, searching for a fight and frequently finding one. The Ironjawz are huge Orruks, bulging with muscle and obsessed with fighting. Even for Orruks, they are uncommonly belligerent and prone to violence. They wear crude armour that their smiths beat into shape with their bare fists, and each Ironjawz Orruk wields massive weapons that their muscle-bound arms swing with ease. The Ironjawz prize size and strength above all other qualities, and they are quick to challenge their fellow Orruks if they detect any weakness or if they just get bored. So, as you can tell, the Ironjawz are a, brutal, savage, bonkers kind of race to have. Very interesting and very unusual as well at exactly the same time. So, they have the they just like fighting each other and beating the hell out of each other, and yeah, very fun times. And obviously they wear heavily wrought iron armour from iron scrap. They use unsuitable tactics because, you know, tactical plans of the Ironjawz typically involve lining up in front of the enemy, making a huge amount of noise, and then running at them real fast while screaming and swinging weapons. You know, it's a strategy, I guess, not the best one. They are fueled by war, so they love a good scrap and they love a fight, and yeah, their biology has responded to the intense rigours of war and battle. As they fight, they grow, their bones thicken and their muscles swell. So they just get stronger and stronger and stronger the more they fight, and they've evolved in that way. Their social graces, so unless they get hacked off, every Orruk has 5 fingers on each hand. Since 5 is therefore the highest number they can reliably count to, many of the Ironjawz societal structures revolve around the number of 5. Because, you know, so any unit, which generally is 5, would be called a mob. Well, a unit is called a mob, and a group of 5 mobs is called a fist. And 5 fists make a brawl, because, yeah, it's the way they work. Anyway. Moving on, obviously we get a new terrors page, so the anatomy of the Ironjawz. So obviously this is kind of written as kind of like a scientific tome to kind of describe the Ironjawz, like they have with the Gloomspike Gits, Troggoths, and the Cruel Boys and such. So very much in the same style of that, and it also has some nice bit of black and white artwork there, and some sketches including a club being broken over the top of an Orruk's head, because, you know, they've got really thick bones and everything. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty interesting, and obviously gives you a little bit more lore about the Orruks and how they came to be and such like. Then moving on though, we get a Mega Boss page as well. So obviously you get to give them the reasons for joining the war. So whether he's heard tales of your killer boss and has come to give him a good crumping and steal his army and whatever. You know, fun times. It does mention more crushers there, so we don't have one with the actual normal magazine. I can't remember if we get one with the premium or anything. I can't remember what came in with premium now. But obviously the Maw Crushers are big beasts. But in all honesty, the Oryx that ride them have just basically beaten into submission. So, you know, it is what it is. They like to use their strength to beat everything into submission. You get to do the chosen tactics and you get to give them a unique name. You also get a photo of some different colour armour. So if you don't want to do yellow, you can go for something slightly different. Google is your friend on this one, so you can find some different Oryx colour schemes for your good old Ironjawz. It's up to you how you want to go about doing it, or you can just create your own. Have a bit of fun with it and enjoy it no matter what. Got your build guide. In all honesty, relatively simple. So I don't think you're going to go wrong with this. Obviously, he is a little bit kind of hunched over and leaning forward. So if you do put him on the base, I'm not going to lie, you're going to struggle to get into the detail in between underneath him because that base is so huge. If the base was smaller, dead easy. But obviously, it's not. So, you know, I would personally build the chappie up and not put him on the base. Seriously, find a way to kind of stabilize him off the base so you can paint him up, whether you're using, I don't know, cork with blue tack on it or anything like that. So like I do that for some things. You can literally do stuff like that, so then you can kind of paint him up, get into all the nooks and crannies, and then put him on the base. Is probably the far easier way of doing it, in my opinion. If you really want to as well, I would probably even be half tempted to do the arms separate. So do his like hands separate from the rest of his body, so don't put his axe in his hand straight away, so you can get all the detail on the axe and then put it all together and you've not got anything in the way. But up to you, obviously. You got your paint guide. Up to you how you want to go about doing this. So if you do this, you're using your Avalon Sunset, Mephiston Red, Corn Red and such like, and it's yeah, it's not too bad of a way of painting it. It's, you know, it'll work. It's fairly simple-ish. Using Wraithbone as your base coat. Obviously, you know, you've only have a pot of Wraithbone, so spray paint is your friend sometimes for this. So when we've got all the Ironjawz all together, bit of spray paint, happy days. Makes it a lot easier to get them all painted at the same time rather than painting them one by one here and there and everywhere. Or you can go darker colours, you could go greys, black even if you wanted to. Entirely up to you though. Moving on now, you've got some very thick edge highlights, which I still don't like. I think it's too much. If you want to do your highlights over a yellow, personally what I would do is I would try to kind of half dry brush over the yellow to kind of bring yellow back to life, then go over it with, say, another yellow, a brighter yellow, a more vibrant yellow like Yanden yellow or anything like that, or one of the others. I can't even remember what all of them are called at the moment, but yeah, I would go for a brighter yellow and then small Wraithbone highlights, or even going over with some with one of your metallics, say like Lead Belcher, so then it looks like it's been chipped and the paint is chipped away from it. You know, just an idea. Anyway, if you do follow the guide, you can have something that looks like that. As I say, I personally find those edge highlights very thick and heavy and not really for me. If you do that though, and you want to kind of dull them back down, in all honesty, you use a yellow wash. So any yellow shade paint over the top of it. You can even use thin down one of the good old contrast paints. If you thin it down enough, it will get to a very thin point and you can go over the top of it. But yeah, up to you. Otherwise though, if you want a brighter colour, you're going to need some brighter yellow. So you start off with that Avalanche Sunset base and you go brighter from there. You just, because yellow is quite a thin paint, you're going to need quite a few layers. So a little drop of water, fit it down, go over, let it dry, thin it, and keep on repeating that process until you've got the right vibrancy of your yellow to go for. If you go for yellow anyway. Anywho, you got your war scroll for the Auric Mega Boss. Obviously, all war scrolls are going to change with the next edition of Age of Sigmar, as I have said many times, and it feels like too many times. And yeah, so yeah, it is what it is, but it will be very kind of similar to that. Moving on though, we have our battle plan for the week. So Flame and Fury, Worm Hunt. So you have your very kind of weird segmented territories, which look pretty cool. Still utilising 3 heroes, 5 troops on the Alliance order. If you're using the Alliance of Destruction though, it's the Mega Boss, 2 heroes, 5 troops. So you've got a little bit more to play with, but the idea is to get you utilising your new Mega Boss. And yeah, have at it. Have a bit of fun, get your objectives, enjoy. That is the main thing. Moving on though, next week we get more scenery. So we get the Domicile Shell. We learn about the Dwarden Gods and Gloomspite Tactics. Issue 70, Iron Skull's Boys, which is one of the good old Underworld's warbands. You get information about Nagash, the Lord of Death, Lord of Bones, and we get a new battle plan as well, and we go into the last 10 issues. So now, the main thing with this is, it is 100% clear now, as we're getting closer to that last 10 issues, the magazine is not going to be extended. I kind of half expected that anyway. So it's not really that much of a shock, but it is what it is. But otherwise, in the last 10 issues, we do have some pretty good minis to look forward to. So we have the Ironjawz, more of the Ironjawz stuff. We have some more Oryx. We have the Swamp Boss. I can't remember what it's called. The big one on the Sludge Raker Beast. We have the 2 good old Storm Drake Guard as well, which are spread across over 3 issues as well. So yeah, really good, loads of good stuff to come. Obviously, who knows what's going on with good old Warhammer 40k Combat Patrol. It is what it is. We may see it sooner rather than later. We may not see it for a while. Who knows? Not really seen anything on it unless anything's been announced in the last day or two. But yeah, other than that, the only thing I have to update you guys on is I just wanted to say that over the weekend I went to UK Games Expo at the NEC in Birmingham. If you ever get the chance to go, go. It's really worth it. You can get some really good bargains. You can get some great minis. I will put a photo up on the community tab for my channel to show what I picked up. I picked up some mostly minis, not a lot of Warhammer. Weirdly, Warhammer weren't there, which was really bizarre. But yeah, it was really good fun. So definitely worth checking out next year if you really fancy it. Just be aware it is very busy. Anyway, that's enough of rabbiting on from me. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.